everyone, and welcome to another episode of I Hate It Here, where that's me and Sam, spend about 90 minutes hating the world so you don't have to. We vowed we were going to do this more often, and despite many broken promises this past year or two, there was a sign, Sam. There was a sign immediately, because yesterday I woke up and the word nonce was trending on Twitter. It was just there. Nonce, just said in huge letters. And I thought to myself, what have the BBC done now? I thought,
Mate, I actually thought that as well. I thought it was going to be something about TV licensing protests or something. I thought, what it is they're up in the TV license and everyone's going wild. Like,
yeah, it was that, or Dave O.G. Miles had released his album. It was one of the two. But I was like, I wanted to fucking see what this was all about. And for those that don't know, because crypto is just a ridiculous world, a new sort of crypto thing had launched called Nonce Finance. Right? Now, their announcement, I've sent it to you there. Their announcement, they were somewhat bewildered, because you have to understand, Sam, that, you see, I'm not like the Americans. I don't believe I have a God-given right to dictate cultural standards across the world or make everyone conform to my linguistic norms through a form of cultural imperialism imposed by my domination on digital spaces. You see, it was good because it was the 4th of July the other day as well when this happened. And, it was good to see Americans exercise the freedom to shut the fuck up, trying to make everyone else in the world care about their bullshit for a day. It was nice. But anyway, so listen, you have to recognize the word nonce doesn't just mean...
Yeah, there is something to do with coding, right? Oh, I seen in a tweet, actually, number only used once, right?
Yes,
so
and now,
once.
Yeah, a nonce number, but also a word as well. Like if you make up a nonsense word to describe something and it's used once, it's a nonce word, is what they call it. So it exists in language, it exists in code. And so obviously in crypto, when they're using, like, I mean, listen, I don't know much about crypto, I just know it's all bollocks.
The default viewpoint. I don't know nothing about it, mate, except that it reeks of shit from up there.
I think all we need to establish is just the sheer volume of people getting grifted on a regular basis. Like, I think that's it. Basically, it's some made-up cunt thing that cunts, because they made it up, get to exploit people who think they're the cunts, but they're not. They're the morons. They're the mark. Any market that can be manipulated by an Elon Musk tweet is...
I mean, to be fair though, he did get done for manipulating the stock market. So if he can manipulate that, you know what I mean? I feel like an Elon Musk tweet can manipulate quite a lot, mate. To be fair, quite a lot of strength in an Elon Musk.
I think if the GameStop debacle showed me anything, that stock market's a load of shit as well. Yeah, this is for the little people. This one, hold, and it's just and then you just see all these morons that went and bought GameStop because someone said to the moon and did a little rocket emoji. Yeah, we're all going to be millionaires. Yeah, that's exactly how it works. Yeah.
I know. It's like, do you understand, by the way? Like, if GameStop goes to $1 million a share and you're all worth billions, then the dollar's now worth fuck all. Like, do you understand the basics of economy? If everyone has billions, nobody has billions. It's worth now.
Oh, it makes me laugh, right? Because, like whenever I talk about crypto, there's always, like, when this goes to YouTube, Sam, keep an eye out for it, because there's always one cryptard. Because they are the worst fanboys of all, because they the tech is interesting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. The thing is, it's basically crypto is the technology, but there happens to be a lot of scam artists and cunts at the theme.
Yeah, but it's like these NFTs. Like, no, we've arrived at the end product supposedly, but we haven't even really thought about the practical applications of it. So I can own I can own the digital rights to a meme, But
Yeah, I don't get. I really don't
yeah,
understand NFTs.
NFTs
I
are
like to
even
think
bigger
I'm
bollocks
pretty
than crypto, aren't they?
up to speed on crypto and stuff, but I
Yeah.
can't get my head around where the value in NFT comes from. I really can't.
So what'll happen is when this goes to YouTube, it's all like a boomer doesn't even know what he's talking about. I made tens of thousands on the crypto market, and they have crypto enthusiasts, don't they, in their Twitter bios? And it's like, yes, I probably could buy some and make some money off it. Of course I could, because I'd be exploiting a moron somewhere down the line, because that's the mechanism that makes it work, isn't it? It's essentially all one big fucked up digital Ponzi scheme. And everyone's saying, oh, it's the future, crypto, Bitcoin, invest, get it, buy this, Doge to the moon, all this shit. And the bottom line is, as soon as any technology threatens global governments and fiat currency, it's going to get shut down real quick. Enjoy it while it lasts. That's all I'll say. Eventually, blockchain will be used to track votes.
Yeah, so I mean, blockchain is
suppress political dissidents.
The technology
like
is going to be used in. They'll just transfer over to modern banking. It? It's like, what's this? The system's way more efficient and better. Well, I'll just steal that technology then and keep doing what I'm doing. No bother.
Yeah. So anyway, Nonce Finance comes along. Oh yeah, and just to finish the point, there will be somebody in the people defend crypto so venomously, like it's like do or die.
I don't get why you'd be annoyed though. Like if you're one of these crypto millionaires, why do you give a fuck if anyone's talking shit? Who cares? Surely that's good for you. That means you get to buy lower. You get a sale.
The best thing as well though is there's this weird trend where because the mainstream media have noticed that people might click on this, so they go away and they write up a story about crypto millionaires, and it's always the same story. It's always like John Shitface bought $100 of Dogecoin for a meme when drunk and held on to it for 10 years, and now he's a millionaire.
I'm glad he is as well. I'm happy for him.
But then the first thing he says is never selling though.
Yeah.
So you're just gonna wait. Yeah, never selling. They all say the same thing, the cryptards.
Yeah, but do they? I feel like they say that, but most of them probably do. Like, I don't know, actually, maybe they don't.
No, it's just
use
a number on paper.
If
it's
you
not
put
even
in
like
100 and it's gone up 500%, maybe sell half. You know what I mean? Maybe sell half of it. Keep the other half. Who knows? Could go to a mill. Yeah, keep an half.
I never do it. They never do it. They never sell. And because I love the tech. No, you don't. No, you don't. Yeah, you love being associated with something that you think makes you some sort of like intellectual outlier that's beating the system. When in actual fact, you're just going along with another internet trend because you lack any imagination. It's got nothing to do with you're ahead of the curve. You're just another dickhead, but you were just one of the luckier and or smarter dickheads. That's it. That's all. So you watch, Sam, when this goes up.
I mean, they'll definitely be leaving it now. We've dragged this segment up for a solid 4 minutes. They'll definitely be commenting up. I actually
studied economics. They all say the same thing. You don't even know what you're talking about. Well, I understand economics, so checkmate, atheists. But that's not what I want to talk about. I want to talk about nonces. So Nonce Finance comes out, right? Launches, and you can imagine everybody in the fucking replies is like, "Oh my god!" That sound like that guy. You don't want to rate my takeaway, rate my brand name. Oh my god!
We're down to a crypto company.
This one's called Nonce Finance. It's right up there with sweet corn for me. But anyway, everyone was replying like, "You can't do this. It means paedophile in British slang." And loads of people were doing play on words like, you can imagine, can't you? Something like, "How do you get minor returns on your investments?" And hilarious jokes like that. And they were scratching their heads at first. What's wrong with the word nonce? It means this. And then everyone's going, it also means this. Yeah, I know, right? But anyway, they took it they've took it pretty well. As you can see, in their bio, it now says, struggling with brand names. And there's like the sort of crying. Or is it crying or sweating with laughter?
Sweating
Sweating with laughter emoji. Gotta get your emojis accurate, Sam, or society collapses. Will descend into anarchy. And they also have put up a poll which 20,000 people have replied to. They said, "Should we change our name?" And with like 50+% is hell yes. Hell yes. So, but you see, Sam, what this got me thinking of was
The BBC.
the BBC. No, but there've been loads of terrible brands, haven't there? There've been loads of branding mistakes. Like, have you ever heard of? I think they're Swedish. They must be Swedish. You ever heard of a Swedish company
Yeah.
called Locum?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So they decided to do a logo upgrade for part of their campaign to show how nice they are and how they're about love and not hate, you know, because they're Swedish. And they ended up with that brand there that I've just sent you, that logo, which, as you can see, Sam, they've made. They've made a grave error, haven't they? There, because
man.
that to me doesn't say Locum.
I like the way that obviously it's an L, but it looks like an I is way bigger, so it looks like it's going, I love cum.
yeah. No, but the thing is, you see, by using a little L instead of a big L, you should have used the capital L, and there's no problem there.
Fine, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it still
but by
wouldn't be
using
funny,
a
to be
little
fair.
L, it makes it specifically look like an I, like a big I, like you say, they want to shout it from the rooftops. I love cum, which I've just realised is a clip now.
Yeah,
but
extreme that.
I have been straight wrecked, haven't I? Richard Lewis loves cum, Polygon exclusive. That's fine.
That's
actually.
another one.
Yeah, it's another one. But yeah, so there was that. There was I love cum. There's a popular kind of like outdoor shopping company in Canada, right? And there it is, Sam. This one is called Beaver Canoe. And I remember I brought this up before, as I think that's hilarious because it is implying that it's a woman with a really large vagina, like a vagina you could climb in
and swim
and row, and row down river. It's fucking huge. But Davey's like, well, what do you mean? Yeah, beaver canoe. It's normal. No, it's not, mate. It really isn't.
Or it sounds like some sort of like strip boat, like a fucking party boat or something, you know, the beaver canoe.
All aboard the beaver canoe.
Yeah.
Drinks inside. Yeah, I could
or a canoe that fucking is powered by beavers, which I'd be way more interested in.
Oh, that'd be sick.
That'd be fucking wicked if that's a thing.
That would be sick. Now, also, this just came to my attention off the back of the revelation of Nonce Finance. This is a website which I just couldn't believe. It's in Lafayette. Bollock Enterprises, Sam. That's their website. They make countertops and like kitchens. So you can order Bollock tops if you want. Bollock tops. That's there. So not a great brand either. But I think perhaps my personal favorite ever. And this. Oh, actually, I suppose we should do this just while we're doing them. Have you seen those female clothes shops called Wanko?
No. What country is that?
I'm not too sure. It might be Scandinavian again. Like, let me see. Wanko clothes. Don't even know.
Anyone recognise the Wanko? Like, anyone see the Wanko near them?
Says they've got one in the UK here. So Wanko is there. But that isn't the best one. That's not my favorite terribly branded business of all time. Because you see, there's a place in Ireland, right? I think near Donegal. And there's a town, right, called Muff. Well, okay. Town called Muff. And there's a fish and chip shop. It's closed now. There's a fish and chip shop. And it was called The Fishy. But because they wanted everyone to know it was not to be mistaken with any other fishies from anywhere else in Ireland, they called it The Fishy Muff Takeaway.
Mate, the fucking first line has revealed how her daughter begged her to change the name.
Yeah. I just think the best thing is the picture of her, like, reamed out face, like, just looking like she's just seen too much, and just the words, The Fishy Muff, above. Like, why have you posed for that
Why,
photo?
also, if you're a fish and chip shop, why wouldn't it, call yourself a chippy like everyone else? Call yourself the chippy? Wouldn't, no bad in that. The chippy
no
muff,
problem.
easy.
Yeah, no problems with that. Also, you can see underneath, the Muff Barbers is another well-named spot, according to the Irish Sun. So, I'll just read you that. Mary said her daughter now sees the funny side of the fishy muff takeaway after their Facebook page was widely shared online. Mary, who has been living in Muff for 30 years, told the Irish Sun, the first night I put it online, there were lots of comments about it. But now, in general, when the shop is open, the feedback is unreal. We didn't think of it. We didn't think, I'll call fishy muff, yeah. We didn't think of it at the time, but now looking back on it, it is bringing attention to the shop, to Muff, and people can have a laugh about it. Naming your eatery after an unwashed vaginal cavity. Very good. So there you go. Worst business name of all time is the Fishy Muff, Sam. I want it on record. You will never top that.
Unless there's a diving club there. I saw someone write that in chat. That has got potential. Like, is Muff a sea town? Like,
oh, so you're saying right?
The Muff Diving Club.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good. But you know, I don't think you're gonna beat the Fishy Muff. I don't think you're ever gonna beat.
That's really good.
That's it. Now, that's the preamble. Obviously, Sam, this isn't a podcast about funny names and funny signs, is it? It's not what we do. That's for like James Corden or someone like that, isn't it?
Or another horrible cunt you can find in the street.
yeah, maybe, yeah, that too. No, what we're about really is we're a podcast that covers seagull news, aren't we? That is our big topic. So first up, right, I just want to say, because we didn't talk about it on the show, and I am gonna the seagull problem is getting worse. It was interesting because, like, now that we've got that Clips channel up and running, and see, like, 5 years ago, how naive I was in particular.
I was gonna say, I'm just saying, I saw it coming, mate. I watched that clip as well. I was like, I knew.
Yeah, I was saying seagulls were all right. It just goes to show, Sam. You know, people say, "Oh, Richard Lewis, he's arrogant." You know, I'm more than prepared to admit I was wrong about seagulls. They're a fucking menace. They're an absolute menace. They were always going to be a menace. They, you know, and I was wrong. I didn't see it coming. Now, just before we get into all the news, because they are ramping up attacks, and there is I just want to say, I don't know why Alex Jones was never on this, but there's something going on with the government and seagulls. Because They're protecting them, Sam.
Yeah,
The
they
government are
under
protecting
protection.
seagulls. And I'm going to show you some stories that are going to blow your mind. Like, this is all over, like, the last week or two. There's, like, at least half a dozen insane stories about seagulls attacking people and all sorts. And then getting government protection. Big gull is being, you know, enforced. But just before we get into that, here's a video of a seagull riding another seagull.
I might have seen this, but this could be a fresh one. Like, let's have a look.
No, I'm pretty sure you have seen
Jesus.
this. I just left over it. Like,
Seagulls are screaming at me immediately.
yeah.
I'll just play it. I don't think it needs a 3-2-1.
Yeah, no, it's no 3-1.
It is a
seagull. It's a
seagull.
seagull. Like, basically, they're developing. I don't know. Is it an air force or a cavalry? Which one is it?
No, but they're on each other, so I guess it's some sort of like birdtron. I don't know what happens if you combine two birds.
Don't know. Never done it.
True. Problems. That's what you get. Problem.
Yes. So I don't know if this is an air force or a cavalry. Technically, I'm not sure which, but they are. That's what they're mobilizing, and you can see. Look, like just chilling, doing it. And then he's like, oh, someone's filming us up. Chips.
Let's see the mission. Pretend like we're stupid.
Exactly. Right. So anyway, I'm just going to go through these in no particular order. Scotland is having a tough old time with the seagulls. I thought this was the same story, but it isn't. So first up, let's do this from the Scottish Sun. This is kids living in fear, right?
Fucking hell.
Kids living in fear of vicious seagulls who have taken over a quiet Scots street. And this is in Linwood in Renfrewshire, or Renfrewshire. Vicious seagulls have left Scottish youngsters in fear of being attacked. I mean, as if Scottish youngsters are permanently in fear.
Yeah, they're always in fear.
Yeah. Just sometimes it's seagulls, sometimes it's other Scottish youngsters, isn't it? But vicious seagulls have left Scottish youngsters in fear of being attacked after the feathered bandits took over their street. They say they are too scared to venture outside for fear the gulls will strike, and the problem is getting worse. Neighbours say the nesting birds have now overrun Greenhill Crescent and see them, their kids and pets, as threats to their fledglings. One man said...
Oh, I would be like, trust me, if it was swooping, I'd be threat. I would be a threat.
Oh, for real, yeah. People are living in fear, one man said. The street is completely overrun by them. Every summer there are more and more, and nothing is being done about it. They have no fear of humans and are constantly attacking people and their pets. It's only a matter of time before someone is seriously hurt. They are nesting on the roofs and homes, and people are being woken up at 4 a.m. with the noise of them. Something needs to be done, as the situation is just getting worse and worse each year. These birds live until they're 20 years old. So their numbers will... I know, I didn't even know that, me.
I had no idea.
That's just even giving you a new sinister connotation, hasn't it? Imagine that 2 decades of fucking nightmarish attacks. Like, these birds live until they're 20 years old. So their numbers will continue to multiply unless something is done. And the attacks will become more frequent if there is less food for them. Seagulls are currently protected by the Wildlife and Countryside Act of 1981, meaning no one can recklessly injure or kill any gull or damage or destroy an active nest or any of its content. Right? Labour councillor Jim Sheridan, the government say, right, watch this. Right? Jim Sheridan said something should be done. Right? Why don't you repeal that Wildlife and Countryside Act or give an exemption like to seagulls? Maybe would be a start, but whatever. This is a concerning issue all over Renfrewshire, and there have been many instances reported to me of people and even young children being attacked. Residents have also contacted me about the amount of bird droppings all over their cars. Right? Now, I'll be honest with you, Sam. First thing I wouldn't be thinking, I must call my local MP about this. Like, I will say to you, I am not calling up my local politician if there's bird shit everywhere. Like, I'm not going to do that. But that's what's going on in
What
America.
if your
And
kid gets swooped on? I was ringing the fucking MP. Like, kid's been attacked by a gull and you're ringing an MP.
it's a bit of a mad one, isn't it? But then there was also this from the Daily Record, which, hang on, for some reason, their website has just gone down as we're doing our show, which fuck the Daily Record. You're as bad as the sun now. But there you go. This is another one. This is in North Muirton in Perth. People are complaining about the nesting gulls are flying down to confront passers-by, leaving everyone too scared to step outside. And then you go, well, come on, that's just Scotland. Maybe like they're all fucking, they've found some bottles of Buckfast in a bin, right? Or they're withdrawn from heroin, whatever, right? Because they are a product of their environment after all. But no, it's happening in Liverpool as well, where they've never even heard of heroin.
Sure. I reckon they might have.
No, Sam. Not Liverpool, city of culture. So, absolutely no. You take that back, sir. But anyway, this was the headline from the Daily Star. And again, all these stories are 4 days apart. Psychotic, in quote, psychotic.
It's attributed mental illness to the gull.
Yeah. Psychotic seagulls causing terror by dive bombing dog walkers and stealing food. The dive bombing menaces have left Liverpool looking like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds, with 30 strong gangs surrounding children amid fears they followed Cornwall holidaymakers. Right? So you can see that guy's head, right? Basically, is the story.
Oh, he's been fucked up. Can I even show up?
No, I don't know. I think you can. It's not gore, is it? But anyway. But, I mean, if you want to play it safe, up to you.
Yeah.
Scousers say the dive bombing menaces have left Liverpool looking like Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds. The swooping squawkers are feared to have followed holidaymakers from Cornwall to set up a new pterodact seagull. I don't know where they've got that word from. Pterodact seagull colonies in the city. There are now calls for the government to deploy hawks to...
They're doing the strat, mate. They're doing the strat that we talked about.
Yeah. There are now calls for the government to deploy hawks to end the seagull siege as bird lovers refuse to stop feeding the avaricious avians. It comes after one of the winged screamers brutally attacked a bald dog walker from behind and left him with 3 head wounds, with the street now dubbed a no-go area.
Fucking hell.
Natalie said her dad was walking his new puppy when he was bombarded by the gull who swooped down on him from a lamppost. She said he ducked down to avoid it and just carried on walking, but the next thing he's felt a smack on the back of his head. Obviously, it had gone up, turned back around, and then hit him from behind. Phil Owens, I don't know who Phil Owens is. Thanks, Daily Star. I just didn't reduce Phil Owens. Phil Owens said the Bolshy birds were getting bolder, adding earlier this year, I saw a seagull kill a pigeon in Williamson Square and start eating it.
I've seen that as well. I thought that.
Yeah, they are doing that. They are doing that. Loads of videos of that, by the way. Swallowing pigeons whole. Or even worse, there's that video into that seagull that's pecked the top of a pigeon's head off and is eating its brains while it's still alive. You seen that?
Yeah.
Full zombie seagull antics. Like John Bradley, another guy. John Bradley begged people to stop feeding the psychotic bird, saying Upper Frederick Street has an equally psychotic bird. I saw one trying to eat a pigeon in Derby Square. Seen them steal food from people's hands outside of the Lord Street McDonald's.
There's got to be a way, right, that isn't cruel, that will piss off. I'm thinking, right, high power water gun. That'll forget a Seagull fucking.
Oh, mate, those high-powered water guns will obliterate.
No, I'm not talking water. I'm not talking jet washer. I mean like an actual, like a gun, like a toy one, but like a strongest toy one you can get. The one that isn't gonna break skin, ain't gonna hurt no one. Spray the gulls down.
I think no. The problem you got is, Sam, that's not hard enough. That they'll just tank that.
Well, we'll figure out the PSI. There must be a perfect place for it. Say
so
if
what
it's
you're
like
saying is
60
we need
PSI.
to develop a special amount of water, a special water gun for the purposes of dealing with seagulls.
Because
what happens? They're not going to leave.
Oh, they will. It depends how hard you
once
flash
they're
them.
nested, though, they're not going anywhere.
Yeah, but right after this lot is bought, you'll have to. It's like Pavlovia. You're gonna have to condition them to never come back again. Like you can. This is your last lot. After this, I'm gonna fucking jet wash you every time we come here.
Look, we just need to accept we're at war and repeal that ridiculous act that gives seagulls. They're clearly not endangered, are they? There's fucking millions of them. They're not endangered, and I think we just say, right, game on, Lord of the Flies. Let's have it. And if the seagulls are pecking you, you've got the right to grip them and wreck them.
All right. But the thing is, it said in that article, recklessly, right? So it's illegal to recklessly injure. So I think that means if it's coming at you, you're allowed to return fire, like. Because recklessly injure means you're doing it, without a reason. You're recklessly doing it.
Here's another quote for you. Liverpudlian Julianne Forster said, "My husband got attacked by one today on the docks. It took his full lunch and slapped him one. They're evil."
Slapped him up. Walked over, stole his pocket money. Slapped him up.
Slapped him one. Yeah. Sheila O'Driscoll suggested, "Seagulls are scared of hawks!" Exclamation mark.
Yeah.
The council need to settle a few in the town centre.
What if hawks start swooping? Then you get some real problems, like. Because I wouldn't want to kill a hawk, because they are cool creatures.
It's weird. Hawks don't fuck with people so much.
But what if they do? What if they run out of gulls to eat? Like, so okay, they solve the gull problem, but they, in the process, kill all gulls, extinct, no more gulls. What are the hawks eating? I guess other small birds, but they're gonna run out of birds to eat eventually. Like, they're gonna have to switch prey, like.
But the government's not gonna deploy the hawks.
Well, that's when we bring in the snakes.
Yeah, exactly. It's that episode of The Simpsons, isn't it? But and then the gorillas, and then we're all good. And then the gorillas will die in the winter, and problem solved. But no, this is what I mean. See, I was saying that they're not fucking. The government aren't going to deploy the hawks. They're not going to do anything. They're in on it. They're in on it, mate. Listen to this story of this fella, right? And I got some sympathy. Former Royal Welsh Fusilier, Sean Llewellyn, one of our boys. So anyway, this is from the Worthing Herald, quite a publication. It's down in Worthing. And he rents a flat, right? And, okay, so he started having problems with his flats, right? And for 9 weeks, he's been forced to sleep on a sofa or the floor because he's got water cascading in, right? From some dodgy roof leak light fitting. And he said, "I've had 3 electric shocks."
Turn the electric off. 3 times, man. Oh, mate, 3 times.
3, like, he's done himself 3 times. Like, I've had 3 electric shocks. I know, but no, you listen to the next bit, mate. I've had 3 electric shocks, and the one I had this morning put me out for 4 hours. He knocked himself out. What?
Fried himself for 4 hours. That can't be normal. I feel like you're not supposed to pass out for that long.
No, definitely not.
Fucking hell.
I've got balls, blankets, and black bags down to collect the water. I am so angry and frustrated, and it is affecting my mental state due to the lack of sleep. Sean said the water leak started when heavy rain hit Sussex just a couple of months ago. And he said he was told that someone would come over and fix it, but initially no one came, right? They didn't send anyone out for 3 weeks. And when the person did come out, they said they couldn't do any repairs because there was a seagull's nest in the
Fuck up,
gutter,
but-
and they can't move it because
It's
of the
killing
Wildlife
him.
and Countryside Act 1981. There you go, mate. You've got to
But
sit
he's
in your
gonna
house.
die, mate.
You've got to sit in your house, water cascading in, getting electric shocks that knock you out for 4 hours at a time because a seagull has nested on your roof. Now, you tell me the government isn't in on this, mate. Why? How can anybody justify that? How can you
Mate, this
justify
poor
living like that?
cunt, like, this quote,
Mm.
I have cried every night, and sleeping on the floor or sofa is aggravating for my back condition, which I'm on medication for. He's got PTSD from being in the fucking Fusiliers. Fucking, and he's having his life ruined by a gull, mate.
Yep. Yep. Right. Anyway, here you go. This is the best bit, right? The council, right, said it understands the severity and awful situation, but it has to abide by the law when it comes to removing birds, and it would need to get a license from the government, which would take up to 45 days to be granted. Well, a branch of the government called Natural England, the Wildlife Licensing Department at Natural England, that protects gulls. What a joke, mate! I'd be up there, I'd fucking smash that nest to pieces.
All I'm saying
fucking
is, right,
send me to prison, like. for
engineer
fucking
shows
smashing
up.
seagull's
Sorry,
nest,
mate,
like,
you're gonna
do
have to
it.
get electrocuted and risk death because what it is, there's a seagull's nest in it. Oh yeah, no bother. Come back tomorrow. Just check if it's come back. It's gone. Oh, its nest is gone. Weird.
Gone.
That is gone.
Yeah, gone. Yeah, just prove.
There seems
prove
to
I
be
did it, mate.
some coolant or something. It's red everywhere. Something's leaking out your roof. Nah.
Mental, innit? Mental. Now, far be it from me to say that, like, once again, Sam, we were ahead of the curve. But there's a publication called the National Scot, and they run people's letters, right? You know, like, because for some reason the media thinks, yeah, we'll just talk to the general public. No, they're morons. That's the worst thing to do. Don't take your cues from the general public. But in this instance, and you can see there's a nice picture of a seagull eating a chip. Which, of course, is their natural diet, isn't it? Not Scottish people. I mean, seagulls. They published this letter, and it literally says, the seagull menaces must be stopped. Isn't it time citizens were armed? That's the letter.
Fucking hell.
Right? This is from Edward Burns, who felt compelled to write to the newspaper. I'll read you the letter. Is it not about time we started culling seagulls? Why they are a protected species, I do not know, because they are an utter pain in the bahookie. I don't know what that. I assume that means
Scottish. Yeah, but
yeah,
is
maybe.
or is he just?
For a start, at certain times of the year, they reckon us humans are up to scaling the frontage of tenements and eating baby seagulls, so they swoop on us and physically attack us in the street. But not satisfied with just attacking us, they then resort to other tactics. 'Tis a little-known fact that in their spare time, seagulls do a bit of decorating. It's like a little Homer that gives them extra cash to spend. The problem is it's us humans that often get decorated. Twice
Shit.
now.
That is
Yeah, he's talking about shit, see. Twice now in Glasgow, I've been pooped on by a seagull. And on both occasions, it was an absolute deluge.
Drenched in shit, man.
Oh, mate, it's no joke, mind. I tell you one thing I saw. It must have been a duck or a seagull because it was green shit. But I remember I was walking on the beach. It might have been down in Cornwall, I don't know, can't remember, but it was a beach. And there was some bird lying down, a woman sunbathing, you know, and it's just got this green streak. It's got in her mouth, it's all in her chin, it's all in her face, all over her sunglasses, like, and they're doing that on purpose. There's no way a bird just thinks, haha, I'll shit here, like, random, like, it's definitely done it on purpose, like. So, and it was all green, and she was like, like going out and, yeah, having a retch. Anyway, then there's the litter nuisance. Our streets have become an embarrassment thanks to seagulls pecking and distributing the contents of bags of food waste. Enough is enough. It's time to arm the citizens. He's not. He hasn't explained how that will fix the problem. He also hasn't explained. Well, he also hasn't
Arm the
acknowledged
citizens with jet washers.
it's Scotland. The citizens are armed, aren't they? Just with knives, usually.
Can't get within
broken
range.
bottles.
Yeah, launching bottles out.
So now, while Edward Burns is obviously listening to us and is taking the Seagull menace seriously, I have to say that Google definitely aren't, because they have recently purchased the rights to a photograph taken by a holidaymaker of a seagull eating a chip sideways, having a swoop and eating a chip. And they've used it in a recent advertising campaign, essentially normalizing seagulls.
Once again,
right?
big tech trying to help out gulls, man.
See what I mean? Government, big tech, right? A holidaymaker's 10-year-old photograph of a seagull eating a chip is to star in Google's latest advertising campaign. Amateur photographer Hannah Huxford from Cleethorpes took the picture in 2011 on an iPhone 3G in Bridlington, East Yorkshire. Now the image will feature on billboards and online adverts for the tech giant search service. I don't know why.
Why though?
Like a seagull finding a chip, is it?
But
Like the seagull's packing chips.
yeah, but he's not looking for a specific chip, is he? He's looking for anything. He'd eat fucking shit.
The photo was taken when Miss Huxford and her husband had stopped for a bag of chips at the seaside. They immediately, this 2011.
I don't need the story. Like, ooh, these boring cunts' lives, but as if you're telling me the story of how you took a picture of a seagull with a chip in it. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. Fuck off. What a creep. Like, I hate that, but fucking grow up. There is no backstory, is there? You took a picture of a bird. That's the story. Like, you've been paid by Google. Shut the fuck up. Oh, God. How is that news, but? Oh, it's so long, but how's the article so long? They've squeezed 3 paragraphs out of that, like. How have they done it?
Finding themselves bombarded by gulls, there was one particular cheeky chappie.
Fuck off.
Quote, who caught her attention, and she turned her lens upon him. This one was on a bin and was fearless. It was giving me the eye and was gulping down chips, she said.
Mad how they be doing that. Like, mad how you seen a seagull eating chips. Fucking crazy. She's going to get a fucking Netflix documentary next, mate. That'll be the thing. Like, the woman who took Google's next vision.
If that woman who basically lip-synced along to Trump gets a comedy special, yeah, probably. Like. But anyway, so just letting everybody know, right? It's the seagull thing. It probably did start as a bit somewhere along the line. We probably were doing a bit. But now I'm being deadly serious. Like, imagine what happens, Sam, if the apocalypse happens now. I mean, it's great, good news. But imagine if the apocalypse happens now. Who's dealing with the seagulls? They'll kill people, mate.
Will they fuck? Not what I'm
telling you.
But there's no way.
Oh,
you're going to have to be
about you.
A seagull. The reason they fuck people up is because you're not allowed to do anything back. But once the apocalypse, no rules. But you think wildlife protection comes into account? I'm fucking eating gull. They've been living on carbs, but I bet they're good eating.
Yeah, they might be nice, actually. What I'd be more worried about, mate, is that they're just going to get like super hench, super mental, get a taste for blood, and then, me and you might be all right, but like, what about kids or,
Well, everyone's just going to have a fucking air rifle, isn't they?
And
they better learn to wear body armor if they want to get safe.
So, seagulls there. I know that's what people tune into the podcast for. But almost as often as we talk about seagulls, we do like to talk about Brazil as well, don't we, on this podcast? Down the years. Now, people, okay, we revealed on this stream, which people, couldn't believe, that in Brazil, the number 24 is considered gay, right? It's a long story, but basically there's a card game where the jack, or no, a deer is associated with homosexuality, and the word for deer sounds like the word for 24. You know, it's one of those mad things. Like, it's just mad. So it even gets to the stage where people will have cards and candles, 23 plus 1 for people's 24th birthday, because everyone's very not gay. And we must establish that at all costs, because if anyone was to say I was 24, it would be outrageous. So I remember when we first revealed this, people said we made it up initially. Then they went away and did some research. But then what happened was we had Brazilians in the comments on the YouTube video replying, saying, I've lived in Brazil all my life and never heard of this, right? Lying, of course, because it is a thing. Brazilians do think the number 24 is gay. And do have problems with it, gay acceptance and tolerance across the board in general. You know, Bolsonaro said some choice things, hasn't he? So anyway, this is the Copa America has been happening. And the Brazilian Football Federation didn't issue, in a squad of 24 players, they didn't issue a number 24. It goes 23, 25. Right? Because remember, I'm making this up. And it's not real. They just skipped out the number 24. Now, I'd also talked about the first time we brought this up. There was, if you looked at the Brazilian league, most squads do not assign the number 24 when he plays. And when asked about it, they go, it's just a number 24. No one picks it. That's all. One big coincidence. What do you mean? We're scared of the number 24 because it's gay. But anyway, they got asked by journalists, the Brazilian Football Federation, or the CBF, to explain why the number 24 wasn't deployed. And they've not really nailed the excuse, Sam. I'll read you the answer. The technical committee felt comfortable in calling only one more player in addition to the 23 it initially registered. And for this player, due to his position being midfield, and for mere liberality, it was chosen to be the number 25. It could have easily has been 24, 26, 27, or 28, depending on the sporting position of the player called. As a rule, we have lower numbering for defenders, middle numbers for midfielders, and higher numbers for attackers, they said. They also stated that the group responsible for assigning team numbers is the technical commission of the Brazilian soccer team. And that is here. Yeah. And that is Mr. Oswaldo Geraldo Jr., aka Junior Paulista, if you remember him. So when they were asked about it, right, you're definitely not giving out the number 24 because you're scared of it being gay, right? They were like, no. They were asked outright, is the non-inclusion of the number 24 a deliberate policy? No. Literally, they were like, nah, definitely not. And then they were asked, has FIFA given you any guidance on like registering numbers? And if you have like 24 people in a squad, it should run sequentially. And they said, we're not aware of any guidance on this subject. Nailed it, Sam. It was a big coincidence, mate. You idiot.
If he was a centre back, he would have been 24.
Yeah, he would have been 24 for definite. For
But
realsies.
You've got a striker is 21 and then a centre back is 23. No, it's just how the squad laid out. The striker used to be a centre back in his youth, see, so we list him in the defensive section.
Absolutely ridiculous. So I want it on record. We were right about the goals. We were right about 24. Yeah, it turns out this is an informative and educational podcast now. So I don't like to talk too much about, things that have been going on as it relates to COVID and lockdown and pandemic, because I'm sure we're all sick of talking. It's all anyone ever talks about, innit, mate? It's boring as fuck. I find I can't get 3 sentences into a conversation with an acquaintance without them asking me something related about COVID, and I'm so fucking bored of it. I just want to spit in their face, but then given the topic, it's probably not a good idea, really. Probably go to prison for that. But I'm just sick of it. Just sick of it.
Yeah,
Stop talking about it.
That's what I mean. That's all everyone has to do, mate. That's what I mean. That's the problem. It's still just everyone's life is affected by it. I feel like once we get into the swing of things, hopefully it'll fade out.
I hope so. But right now, it's all anyone ever talks about. But I do want to say one thing that came to the forefront, was celebrities feeling sorry for themselves and talking about, just seeking attention, because celebrities, basically, we went from, being in a world where we made movies, we made TV, and we did things, and then everything kind of went on hiatus, and then eventually celebrities were like, oh my God, what do I do to feed my rampant fucking narcissism? They all started losing their minds, and the one major pipeline that they could sort of get attention from was by giving like sort of self-pitying stories about
I'm with you guys.
that too. Yeah. Now then, guys. Back on road again.
We're in the Beverly Hills doing lockdown.
Right. But there was this. I've been wanting to throw this out there for ages. Because right. Gwyneth Paltrow.
Aye.
Right. I love. I like Gwyneth Paltrow.
Is she the one that did those candles and the beads?
The candles that smell like that chippy from Donegal.
And the beads you can put in the chippy.
Yeah. Basically, she has a company called Goop.
That's what.
Right, and there is a candle, and it's called "This Smells Like My Orgasm."
I thought it said it smells like my vagina.
No, it's called "This Smells Like My Orgasm." That's the name of the brand. And when you go and look at it, it's like a scented candle designed to smell like vagina after an orgasm. And, they do all that. But the product is, you can go to the Goop website now. It's a $75 candle that smells like an orgasm, a female orgasm, apparently.
Is it specific to Gwyneth Paltrow's, or is it just, a mix of all?
If I remember the coverage around it, because that was a long time ago, I think it was all based on... I think she had a staff that came around and were all like, yes, lavender. And then...
piss.
flaps. And they went and recreated it, basically. So, that's what if I remember rightly. So anyway, yeah, she did do that, but she did a story, and she was talking about how dark things had got for her during lockdown. Now, I don't mind saying this, because I've been in lockdown, it feels like forever, and I went from America in Vegas, where we had a full lockdown, to being in Britain just in time for a full lockdown. Then we had a lockdown lift for Christmas, and then lockdown, and then another double secret lockdown, and we're just getting out of lockdown, right? So I've been in lockdown for a long time. I think I have lost my mind. I don't think I'll ever be the same. In fact, I've noticed it as I started going out more and more. I find human interaction strange now. Like, if I don't have this in front of me, I have a hard time talking. I just don't want to do it. In many ways, you could say I've adapted mentally and just got used to this, and on some level have grown to enjoy it, right? But I would in no way, despite how I'm living right now, I wouldn't say it got dark. But Gwyneth Paltrow did. She said she had a breakdown during quarantine. Now, I'm just going to tell you what her breakdown was. She said things got so dark and she was driven to such extremes, she sometimes ate bread.
Fuck up.
No, it's there, mate.
Oh, man.
I ate bread, mate. I had a breakdown and I ate fucking bread. Says here, she admitted to drinking as many as 2 cocktails a night and sometimes would resort to eating bread and even pasta.
No.
So Gwyneth Paltrow's she's had a rough time.
Just shut the fuck up, Nick. Like, how stupid we've got to be as a celebrity to be tone deaf, but like, come on, just shut the fuck up while everyone else is
people literally starving as well.
Yeah, just shut the fuck up. People can't pay rent, struggling to live, and you're like, I've had to resort to carbs. Like, fuck off.
Eating a carb. I know it's bad today. The thing is, as well, if I could get down to 2 cocktails a night, I'd be fucking feeling happy, you know. And certainly if I could stop eating bread, that would be great.
That would be huge.
That would be huge. But it is amazing. You gotta love bread. Whoever come up with the phrase "best thing since sliced bread," they're not wrong. Like,
don't even have to slice it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. No, we'll just tear hunks of bread off. Yeah. But then there was also this, and mate, I weighed up bringing this story because it's. You know how it goes, right? But I do have to say it, right? In fact, you know what? Sometimes less is more, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right? I'll just let you bring this up and say nothing. I just won't even bother, and then we'll just move on, shall we?
Let's have a look. It doesn't seem to be working anyway.
All right. There you go.
Fucking hell.
Doing it or not?
I'm sure, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. What else have we got? Oh, here you go. Shit lookalikes. Right? And I know you've seen this one because I sent it to you the minute it happened, but we have to talk about this on the fucking show. This was the story about an Irishman who was going around dealing drugs, pretending to be Conor McGregor, right? And he even had business cards made for McGregor Enterprise, where he dubbed himself the Pocket Rocket. And as you can see, listen, it's not. Like, put it this way: if he come up to
could definitely be his grandpa, like, for sure.
Yeah. I would do a double take. But anyway, so this is the story from the Irish Post. A Conor McGregor lookalike who dealt drugs using business cards with Conor McGregor's name on them has been jailed for 3 years. By the way, what a mad marketing strategy for a drug dealer.
Why? I don't get how looking like Conor McGregor really
Yeah,
helps.
because
If anything, it just draws more attention.
yeah, surely the secret of a good drug dealer is having a low profile, like, and certainly, irrespective of whether or not you look like Conor McGregor, why have you printed business cards for your illegal fucking enterprise?
I don't know why has he
Right?
gone so ham on marketing. Usually, when you're a drug dealer, but they usually sell itself. Like you haven't really got to do a lot of plugging.
That's what I mean. It's like, listen, do you want to get high? Yes or no? If the answer is yes, boy, have I got the product for you. Beak. And that's it, isn't it? Now, obviously, sometimes your beak is stepped on and weak. Sometimes your beak is fucking slamming
But there's
like
always
Ethan
someone
Bradbury.
willing to try.
But let's also be real. Weak beak. There's an
Weak
argument,
beak.
isn't there, Sam, that weak beak is better than no beak.
Exactly.
So, anyway, Mark Nye told officers his name was
The
Connor.
baking guy.
Yeah, Mark Nye, the weak beak guy, 34, told. I mean, by the way, mate, what a fucking paper round that cunt had. Like, that's
he's
34.
34.
Like,
Fucking hell.
yeah, fucking hell, mate. Like, what's happened there? Like, anyway, Mark Nye, 34, told officers his name was Connor after being pulled over by police last February in Stanwell while trying to dispose of Class A drugs and 2 mobile phones. A subsequent search uncovered hundreds of business cards for McGregor Enterprise, which promised customers the best drops in Surrey. Like, on the one hand, right, you know how I feel about dumb crime. I fucking can't stand dumb crime. But equally, right, I sort of admire the moxie of all of this. Like, I
Yeah,
do
he's
sort of
a go-getter. Like,
yeah, exactly. If he just applied this to something that wasn't illegal, he would have done all right in life, I think. Instead of going away for 3 years for basically.
yeah, if he was like a scrappy or something, Conor McGregor
Yeah.
scrappy's like Conor McGregor will come and fucking lay you metal out. Come give you
got
fucking
any
old card
tools?
uppercut.
Yeah, just panel beat it. Ding, ding. But no, like, it's mad that he's gone. I mean, first of all, he could have just think of all the things you could just get away with, just pretending to be Conor McGregor if you convince people you're Conor McGregor in Ireland. Like, think of all the free meals, all the free. So right there, and having the business cards made up, that's perfect. But it's just probably not a great front.
Or
for
just
a
like
cocaine dealer.
even more believable, pretend you're his fucking his dad or his granddad. People definitely believe that. If you told me I was Conor McGregor's grandfather, 100%, like, I wouldn't even look twice.
Yeah. So, also though, imagine, right? You're in court, and you have to answer, right? Are you a drug dealer, sir? No. Why do you have business cards saying you're a drug dealer and promising people the best drops?
When I'm Conor McGregor saying, I'll drop any man. I'll drop any man.
I'll fucking drop any man I will, so I will. So yeah, there you go. That is the lookalike Conor McGregor drug dealer. Mental. Right, what else have we got? We've done shit lookalikes, that can go. While we're on the subject of dumb crime, we can do this one. This is another classic moron. Let me just see. Is it going to open? Is this website working? If not, don't worry. I've also got this one. All right, I'll race you. I'll race your website. Here you go. So this is the story about a woman who has been basically got caught planning a murder. And you see, what she did was she used... she actually did kill her partner. She did go ahead with it. And she used a blend of sedatives and like a helium canister, and she made it look like it was a staged suicide. Right? But she made a slight problem, you see. She would have got away with it. Right? But she used her own computer to Google, quote, how to commit murder, end quote. How to commit murder. You see, so it started in February, right? She'd been planning this for a while, and she Googled poisonous snakes, poisonous spiders, and deadly fungus. And then in March, she started Googling epidurals, spinal taps, and how many tablets required for suicide.
Jesus.
Things escalated in June because she Googled how to commit murder, and she did that. Oh, it was on a mobile phone, that Google. She did it while watching a rugby game, as well as also Googling lethal dose of oxycodone for £200 male.
Fucking hell.
And 99 undetectable poisons. And how long after suicide is there a crime scene? And can police see websites from your mobile?
That's it. What a mess.
In many ways, she probably should have Googled that last one first.
Yeah.
Probably should have Googled that first, because the answer would have been a
It's a
resounding
big yes.
yes. So anyway, there you have it. She basically got exposed.
As if she did it as well, like so, and she must have been doing that for at least months. Fucking hell.
So yeah, dumb crime, but yeah, banged up for life. The other one I was going to do, I should have probably done this a bit earlier, because it sort of segues from the COVID stuff, because obviously, as we were talking about before we were doing the show, masks in it, everyone's gone mad, and so masks are now a divisive topic, right? I've seen so many videos on the internet, and I know it's the internet. Don't worry, I know I shouldn't be on the internet really if I ever want to enjoy life again, but which I won't, but whatever. But every time I do go on, have you seen there was that Scouse UFC fighter, wasn't there?
Darren
Did you see
Till.
that one? Yeah.
I didn't see it, but I know who Darren Till is.
You're a fucking bully, you are, mate. You're a fucking loser. You're a fucking loser, you are. Because some Jobsworth, local community support officer, was finding him for not wearing a mask. He's going, "I've got a fucking..." Oh, no, I'm Irish now. I won't stick to the Scouse.
Fucking
anyway, belligerent voice. But yeah, basically, he said he had a medical exemption because he'd had a broken nose, and so breathing was difficult for him. But he didn't have a doctor's note with him.
What about his mouth?
Well, yeah, I mean, there is always the mouth. There are
that's what I mean. Most people who just say you don't want to wear it, but you know what I mean. It's fine. Just say you don't want to wear it. Don't bullshit me. I got a medical. If you're so ill that you can't breathe through a bit of fabric, you should not be outside during COVID. It's best you stay in. If you're so ill that you can't wear a mask, just say you don't want to wear one. I'm not that ass, but don't. It's not bullshit.
But I've seen it both ways. I've seen people who don't want to wear the mask having a scrap. I've seen people scrapping with people who are just minding their own business, but they're not wearing a mask. I've seen people in New York leaning over, fire escape, screaming at people for not wearing a mask outdoors on the street. I've seen people, it's just ridiculous. You summed it up perfectly yesterday. All the dickheads that were going to beat you up for wearing a Trump hat or whatever it was, whatever their divisive, whatever their excuse to act like a cunt was, right? They're just going to do it for this now. It's all about them.
Yeah, people just get bored. People move on. Before politics, they had someone else they hated for. People for, you know what I mean? It's always something. They're just bored. It's how humankind works, mate. They need to distract themselves by being angry at someone.
But I will just draw your attention to this story, which big, or rather not big, if true. This is the story in Mercia about a man. A man refused to wear a face mask because he said wearing one shrinks his penis. A man was reported to police after telling fellow shoppers he would not wear a face mask because he said wearing a face mask had shrunk his penis. Officers from Mercia Police, the Safer Neighbourhood team, were stunned when they heard the man's strange reasoning for refusing. I mean, it's not strange if he's telling the truth, is it? Bang on. He's just not telling the truth, though, because it doesn't shrink your penis. He's just got a small knob. But anyway, they were stunned when he heard the man's strange reasoning for refusing to wear a face mask while going in a South Derbyshire co-op. A spokesman said, unbelievably, another seasoned shopper was reported to have advised customers not to wear the face coverings because he felt it caused the shrinking of an unmentionable body part. It's not mentionable.
Well, I know, it's not unmentionable.
Yeah, it's his penis. Grow up.
As if he were getting roasted by everyone there, mate, when he's saying that. Take your mask off, it shrinks you up. No, mate, that's just your now to do with a mask.
Local officers have listed recent incidents of people refusing to wear masks in shops, warning that with the new Indian Delta variant, it's more important than ever to keep yourself covered up. One such incident concerned a middle-aged man who stated he would not wear a face mask because he believed it would reduce his IQ.
Too late for that, man. Far too late for that. You must have been born in a mask, mate. Living like Bane, fucking been masked his whole life.
The fucking state of it, man. I just, why are you people like this? Why? All right, anyway. What else have we got here? I'm keeping one eye on the time. Don't want to run over. Not doing that yet. Oh, well, here you go. This is COVID-related news. So we have done a mini COVID section, despite everything I said. Straight lying, of course. But this was a mad story. And trust me, you want to monitor this. You want to watch this because this might just be how fallout becomes real. Distracted nurse gives woman 6 doses of a COVID vaccine in a single shot. This was in Rome. A 23-year-old Italian woman was mistakenly given 6 doses of the Pfizer coronavirus vaccine all at once and was just released from hospital on Monday after they suffered no apparent adverse reaction.
Fucking hell.
She's
a super dose, mate. We need to start giving this woman the fucking variants. Get her tested on it.
Upon realizing the mistake, the patient
6
is mental in it. Like a double dose is, I've heard of that. You know, a sextuple dose.
Was she supposed to take 6? Like, was it a vial with 6 doses in it, and she was meant to take a 6th out and give it, and she just took the whole dose out and injected it?
Here you go. I'll read the quote. The patient was kept under observation for 24 hours in the emergency room. Doctors said she was given fluids and anti-inflammatory and fever medications as preventative measures. This person at this time will certainly not have side effects, said Dr. Vicenti, the director of infectious diseases at Noah Hospital. She said Pfizer studies had shown that people who receive even up to 5 times the normal dosage don't suffer any consequences.
It's a shame she had 6.
Yeah, exactly. But what about 6?
Just store them in the lethal dose.
What are you hiding about number 6? Like, that's what I want to know. She also said that patients in Israel and Germany who had accidentally been given 5 times the usual dosage had showed no adverse reaction. Still a bit skirting around that number 6. The patient didn't have a fever and didn't have any pain except for the pain at the inoculation site. She was a bit frightened.
I'm sure she was.
Can you imagine?
We're just going to have to take you to hospital really quickly, all right? I've just injected you 6 times the amount you're supposed to have.
Sure, it'll be all right. We've never done 6. We've only done 5. It'll be fine. Vicenti said it did remain to be seen what long-term effects effects the overdose might have on the young woman's antibody levels and thus her immune response should she get coronavirus. She said the hospital would test her blood regularly to monitor her immune response and determine whether she should still get the scheduled second dose.
Yes, you 7.
AKA Lucky 7.
Unfortunately, both the
After-
doses do have to be the same size, so I'm going to have to
Yeah,
give you
well,
another
we're gonna-
6.
We have to give you another 6, followed by 1 for good luck. 13. Yeah, mental. And the Dr. Belandi, the director of patient security, said this is something that should never happen.
True.
No, but this is the best bit though. He goes, this is something that should never happen. Unfortunately, due to our limits as human beings, these things can happen.
And have.
Yeah, absolutely nailed it, Dr. Belandi. Dr. Bellendi. You nailed it, mate. You have nailed it. This shouldn't happen, but due to the fact humans are a fucking mess, it can happen. So, nailed it. Anyway, there you go. She's had a sextuple dose of the old vaccine. Never going to get Rona, that one. Just 100%. Like, just will fully tank a dose of Rona. Now, where are we going next with this? Go on then, since we're still on COVID, fucking hell. Because better we work it all in now. Now, because it's been a pretty jocular episode of I Hate It Here. You might start thinking the world's all right. But anyway, we did cover the horrific situation in India is related to what's now being called the Delta variant. But basically, the long story short was, particularly in the densely populated and impoverished cities of India, coronavirus went through like wildfire. And there was a lot of political nonsense and political posturing, which included there were religious leaders telling people to drink cow piss to fend off COVID or even to cure it. We'll get to that in just a moment. More on that in a moment. But also there were people profiting from the crisis. There were people who were selling fire extinguishers as oxygen canisters. That was happening. It was very clear as well. The government didn't really have a clue or a plan. So it's not been great over in India, to put it mildly. But then just to let people know how bad things have got from India's public officials, the chief minister of India said asked to deal with the shortage for oxygen for hospitalized patients. Can we just convert nitrogen?
No. No, you can't. Why would he go straight to nitrogen? Have you ever thought of air? Maybe you start with, air that does have oxygen in it and remove the nitrogen.
So yeah, this is the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. He asked scientists to look into the possibility of converting nitrogen to oxygen as a long-term solution to the COVID crisis in India. And you can see this is a collection.
Whoever figures that out better not leave the machine running, mate, because you'll fuck up the entirety of our atmosphere. Oh no, he's left the nitrogen to oxygen converter on.
Yeah. So you can see responses from people, including someone with just a picture of him. Just a picture of him, and that says there, "Hello, nitrogen. From today onward, your name, oxygen." Which it's such a bad meme. It's doubly hilarious. But yes, that was one suggestion. Not really nailing it though. But also, let me find this other one. Is this it? Well, just while I find this other bit, you can see here as well. That's the headline of the people in Delhi that were going around selling fire extinguishers under the guise of them being oxygen cylinders illegally. Obviously, that was 2 people that got caught doing that, although there were many more instances of people essentially trying to grift from that. But there was, hang on. No. Here it is, right? So they actually jailed in India. They jailed 2 people for 45 days for putting up Facebook posts saying cow shit and cow piss are not gonna cure COVID.
No fucking hell.
Yeah. It's science and common sense will do that. It was reported on in Vice. This was in May. Police forcefully took a journalist and an activist from their home and threw them in prison. They've been in jail since. Their crime, Facebook posts that criticised the Prime Minister Narendra Modi's party for recommending cow dung and cow urine as cures for COVID-19. In India's Manipur state, a sparsely populated region about the size of New Jersey, police came at night to arrest political activist Irendra Laikambam. It was traumatic for my parents. The cops pushed my mother to the ground while making the arrest. Some 3 miles away, police also barged into the home of journalist Kishore Chandra Wankam. Unfortunate. They assaulted him in front of his 3 young children, according to his wife. So there you go. Now, I will add, it probably was a bit of an excuse, wasn't it? They probably have been on their radar for a while. And because, you've got political activists and journalists and, authoritarian governments don't really like those people, do they? And so probably they've gone through their Facebook, found them saying, listen, don't drink cow piss, don't eat cow shit. It will not cure your COVID. And they've gone, right, well, you're having a spread of information.
Mistruth. That is truth.
It's, yeah. So, yeah, it's all been a right mess. It's all been a right palaver over there, Sam, in India. So, what else have we got here on the list? Missing that out. Oh, no, that's not a good one. Here you go. We'll stay in India, right? You'll enjoy this story, Sam. But back to comedy, back to brevity, right? Here we go. This is an Indian bride cancels a wedding because the groom failed an on-the-spot maths test. Right? This is from Inquirer.net. Indian bride cancels wedding after groom fails quick math test. A bride dumped her groom after he failed to accurately recite the multiplication table of 2. I mean, so fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. When they really jazzed it up in the headline when they said maths test.
It was more like an IQ test, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. A bride dumped her groom after he failed to recite the multiplication table of 2 during their wedding ceremony in the state of Uttar Pradesh in India. The bride and the groom were supposed to be wed through an arranged marriage. The identities of the would-be couple are withheld. But the bride...
So that might have been like one of the, maybe not the first time they met, but it must have been, they probably didn't meet that often, so she's trying to get a vibe. What he's like, do you know 2 + 2? 3? Anyone else? Anyone else?
The bride gave the groom the quick math test as she was suspicious of his aggrandized educational background. Before they could officially tie the knot, the bride, not the broad. That's
broad.
awfully sexist. The broad. This broad. No, the bride walked out of the wedding venue saying she could not marry someone who did not know basic math. The bride's cousin, meanwhile, said the groom's family had failed to disclose to them that he was an uneducated idiot prior to the wedding. The groom's family had kept us in the dark about his lack of education. He might not have even gone to school at all. The groom's family has cheated us, but my brave sister walked out without fearing the social taboo. The two families eventually struck a deal that included having them return the gifts and jewelry they gave each other. This is not the first case of such an incident, Sam. Another Indian bride back in 2015 I can't even speak. This story's so ridiculous. In 2015, dumped her groom, not duped, after the latter likewise failed a maths test. The wife asked him to add 15 and 6 during the wedding, and the groom reportedly said 17.
Rough.
He's really fucked.
She's
that
giving him
one.
the perfect. What was it? What did you say? 15 plus 6.
15 and 6.
Oh mate, you could have hit with a 21. It was. She probably was open for the checking if she knows memes. Like, do you know any memes?
Yeah. So there you go. That one didn't work out. Right. There was also I can't end on it, mate, because we're getting close to the end of the show. So there's also a horrific story. I'll do it in the next episode. But there was a guy. It was in Iraq. They were having a big wedding, and they were making a giant soup for everyone at the wedding. And he was up on top having a stir, and he just fell in, boiled to death, mate.
No way! He actually fucking died.
Oh, he dead as fuck. Dead
oh no!
Yeah.
How hot was the soup?
Yeah, but I mean, like it was when he was making it, so it was all bub. But anyway, we'll cover that deep, joyous story next time. But anyway, how about this? Right now on the podcast, there's recurring themes. Obviously, a lot happens in the world, but some things happen on almost permanent repeat. And one of those things, Sam, is China being secretive, aren't they? Now, this is a more light-hearted version of the Chinese secrets that they keep. But I'd still be fuming about this if I lived locally. This is the headline. Chinese zoo criticized after keeping leopards' escape a secret. The park told investigating police it didn't report the incident over fears it would affect tourists coming to the zoo during holidays.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, it
definitely would.
100% would. They've not nailed it over here on NBC News. Opening sentence. They say a leopard can't change its spots. Unfortunately, for a safari park in eastern China, it can escape.
All right.
Not that good. Yeah.
No shit.
Wasn't worth it, really. But yeah, residents demanded answers after a safari park in eastern China had failed to inform authorities and local residents for weeks that 3 of its leopards had gotten out. Not 1, Sam. 3. At the time of it being made known to police, one of the leopards was still on the loose in the city of Fuyang. Local media reported a search team is on its trail after paw prints. Fuck off. What cartoon hell is this? After paw prints believed to belong to a leopard were found on Sunday. The vice mayor of Hangzhou City said police found leopards had escaped several weeks before the first reported sighting. The park also admitted to police that it did not report the incident over worries it would affect the flow of tourists into the zoo during China's public holidays. So, the people who've covered it up probably are going to face some sort of...
To be fair, they almost got away with it as well. They covered it up and they captured 2 of them. Like, I bet they were spewing, they couldn't get that last one. Almost got away with it. Like,
yeah. The park came under fire after the Chinese state-backed broadcaster CCTV reported seeing leopards with injuries after they were captured. Local authorities saying the leopards were healthy and there was nothing to worry about. No. So yeah, basically they battered these leopards. Like, not the leopard's fault.
I know that. You caged it, you horrible cunt. Just because you got out. Yeah. Get better at building fucking cages.
Well, I'm sure China won't have that problem moving forward. The zoo should be heavily fined, said one Weibo, or Weibo. I like calling it Weibo. That's Chinese Facebook, basically. The zoo should be heavily fined. This incident imposed a great threat to public safety and people's lives and property. The behaviour of this zoo should be thoroughly investigated, said another user. Don't just investigate why animals could escape, but we should also look at whether the animals are being properly managed and treated. Agreed. Right, we'll do one more story. And then we've done our 90 minutes, haven't we, Sam?
Yeah. We're there. Well, we're about 3 minutes under, but this will get us there.
All right, yeah, nice. Hang on. Do I save that? Oh, that's horrible, that one. No, not that. Can't do that. Oh, here you go. This is what I'm going to end on. Right? Because you know how you think you can do anything, Sam?
I don't know about anything.
You say it all the time, Sam. You say, Rich, I can do anything.
I feel like I could do more than people would expect me to, sure.
Well, this is what I want. Right, we're gonna get some content out of this. I meant to bring this up with you sooner, so sorry to put you on the spot live on Twitch, right? But forget dust and disc golf. You've already won that in many ways, right? This is the fucking way into infamy, Sam. This is a British civil engineer who loves chocolate, has set a new Guinness World Record, and he lives in Solihull, down the road from me, by stacking M&Ms. Right?
Right.
And the world record for stacked M&Ms is 5.
Yeah, but that's fucking solid, but because you're balancing 5, what even is that shape? Like a UFO shape, whatever the fuck. A squash.
Not even. No, that's like a Smartie. They're more like a rugby ball. M&Ms.
Are they? I thought it's just like a squash sphere, like basically the same as a Smartie, eh?
Oh, yeah, I'm thinking
You're
peanut
thinking
M&Ms.
peanut ones, yeah.
Yeah, my bad. I don't like the regular.
That's fucking hard, though, but 5 M&Ms with no support.
This is Will Cutbill said, I'm in the Guinness Book of World Records for stacking M&Ms. And he asks people, guess how many? And he says, when I tell them it's 5, they're shocked. And I say, give it a go. Try and beat me. Right? Cutbill said he came up with the idea while he was locked indoors during the pandemic, of course, during the UK's 3rd COVID lockdown. At first, it wasn't very many until one day I thought, right, let's actually crack this. And I became very determined to complete it. It said it took hundreds, only hundreds, of failed attempts before he was able to stack 5 M&Ms. When the task was completed, he contacted the Guinness Book of World Records, and they saw the footage and said, yep, that's valid. He said, I've always wanted a world record. I've bought the book every year, and I've always dreamed of one day reading my name, and it's surely not for this.
Thing is, right, he's just given me an idea. So all he had to do was send a video of him doing it. That's all the checking they're doing. I could definitely cheat my way through that. No, because I was thinking, obviously, there must be rules. No licking the M&Ms. You can't use moisture. You can't destroy any part of the M&M because obviously you'd cut it in half, wouldn't you? And you just stack the halves. You can't do that. They have to be whole M&Ms. I assume you can't lick them. What else could you? You could heat them up. I could take a hot gun to them, like
but he does it on video, like opening a pack.
Yeah, but they don't need to see it. I can hot air gun it while it's in the pack.
No, but they do have to see it. That's how they verify.
No, but what I'm saying is, right, I hot air gun the pack. You start recording, like, here we go. Here's my pack of M&Ms. I open up the M&Ms, but they're all melty on the inside, like.
Anyway, Sam, right? He celebrated receiving this award by eating the stack.
So 5 M&Ms, what a treat.
Yeah, what a rare treat.
Don't eat them all at once.
The last record of 4 stacked M&Ms was held by Silvio Saba of Italy. So, well done, Silvio. It must be quite sad. But I reckon we can get to 6.
But the thing is, I'm worried that he might have hit, like, no, you can only fold a piece of paper a certain amount of times before it comes, like, impossible. Like, you can't fold it anymore. Even if you use a hydraulic press, it's just going to explode. Like, there must be a max of slippery M&Ms. I feel like 5 might be pushing it.
5's too little, though. 5's too little.
I don't know, but you'd have to. It depends. No M&M is exactly the same, so you'd have to study. You'd have to open the pack, look at the pack. It's like doing a fucking speed run in Minecraft, but without a seed for the zoomers, because you never know what M&Ms you're gonna get. So you got to look at the M&Ms, see if you got any like ones with a flat top in them. Have I got any structurally sound M&Ms? You'd have to get lucky, or have to open a load of packs.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I had something to do. I think you get up here, we do an M&M stacking stream. That's the content, mate. That's the content our channel creates. Right? I'll set up all the cameras in my kitchen table, and we watch you try and stack 5 M&Ms.
There's got to be a cooler fucking world record I could beat. Stacking M&Ms. There's got to be something else.
I don't know if anyone's done it for peanut M&Ms.
Would that be
why don't we get right? We'll get the Guinness Book of Records, and we'll look at all the shit records in the back and see if there's anything where we think like, oh, 100% I can have that. Like.
The trick is go for something that's new, that's just came out. So like most fidget spinners stacked on top of each other, they're still spinning.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, we'll get on that. We'll get you in the Book of World Records. But I was going to end on that. I won't end on that. I'll end on this because it's actually an old story. It was an old story from like 2020. I don't know how we missed it or why we didn't put it in the show before, but this is unbelievable. This is a headline from the Seattle Times. I thought it was an Onion article when I saw this. Foxes won't stop attacking this 88-year-old. He had to strangle one with his bare hands. That's the headline. It was only 4 months ago, a grey fox made a beeline towards Norman Kenny outside his home in Maine. The 88-year-old stomped it to death.
Fucking hell.
He's aggro, like. Then early Friday evening, just coming home from the store, Kenny closed his garage door. He heard a mew sound and thought it was his cat. Come on, April, let's go, he called out. But the animal was another fox, and it charged at him, biting his face and hands.
Coming for revenge.
Knocked him down into the driveway and sent his glasses tumbling. So what is it about Kenny that fills the common fox with frothy rage? I wish I knew, he told the Washington Post by phone on Tuesday, shortly before officials said the fox had tested positive for rabies.
Oh, fuck.
But yeah, he didn't get it though.
All right, he's done well.
Yeah, he had a shot. What a nightmare!
88-year-old stomping a fox to death. Fucking hell! What a double-hard bastard.
He just keeps getting attacked.
They're coming for him now, mate.
Oh, 100%. Like, yeah. Kenny believes that there must be a fox den near his home, which is surrounded by gardens and sheds, where foxes hide and search for squirrels, trash, and sometimes compost heaps. The fox that attacked him in September was not yipping, at his pant legs and may have been a pup. However...
Wait, so that's when he stomped to death?
However...
Oh, mate, what an horrible cunt. All he was doing was biting his pant leg. Fuck off.
However, Kenny has no remorse. I said, I'm sorry, Mr. Fox. It's either you or me.
Is it, though?
Kenny has built a new wooden cane fashioned from a tree.
Mate.
It'll bring more firepower to any fox fight in future, he said. He has had to have a follow-up rabies shot on Friday, and we'll have to get another next week.
To be
but
fair
it
though,
does not-
once after that, I understand. Like once you're like you might have rabies, even though he hasn't. If you cut the chance that it almost give you rabies, fair enough. Like you would make a stick, wouldn't it?
Oh yeah. And rabies is no way to die.
But he
It's the
stomped out
worst way to
that
die.
fox pup long before rabies entered the equation.
Yeah, I know. Like he has. In many ways, like you could say this is you are sort of reaping what you sowed a bit like, but
Yeah.
whatever. But like, just get the end of this article, mate. His concerns about rabies only linger for a moment. He had errands to run on Tuesday morning. He said, "I've got my big cane with me."
Ready, like
Just how have
my
I missed
fox
that?
caving stick.
How have I missed the headline? Foxes won't stop attacking this 88-year-old. How the fuck have I missed that? What an absolute nightmare. But yep. So there you have it. That's the story about Norman Kenny, a man who stomped a baby fox to death. I'm finding it sort of hard to sympathise. I won't lie to you, but whatever. He's got his big cane and probably not rabies. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there. That was another episode of I Hate It Here. This was the news. I wish it wasn't. We'll see you next time.